Have you ever felt like a fraud despite your accomplishments? You might be surprised to learn that even the most successful people, like Michelle Obama and Tom Hanks, have struggled with these feelings. Welcome to BrainGrasp. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating world of imposter syndrome and reveal a surprising way to overcome it that you might not have considered before. Imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon that affects millions of people worldwide. It's the persistent feeling of being a fraud despite evidence of your competence and success. People with imposter syndrome often attribute their achievements to luck or external factors rather than their own abilities. This can lead to chronic self-doubt, anxiety, and a fear of being exposed as a fake. Imposter syndrome can affect anyone, regardless of their background or profession. It's estimated that up to 70% of people will experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. Even highly successful individuals, such as Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, and Neil Armstrong, the first person to walk on the moon, have admitted to feeling like imposters during their careers. But what causes imposter syndrome? Perfectionism. Setting unrealistically high standards for yourself can lead to feelings of inadequacy when you don't meet them. Perfectionists often have a hard time accepting compliments or celebrating their successes because they always feel like they could have done better. Family dynamics. Growing up with high expectations or inconsistent praise from parents can contribute to imposter syndrome. If you were constantly told that you needed to be the best or that your accomplishments weren't good enough, you might internalize those messages and carry them into adulthood. Societal pressures. Stereotypes and biases related to gender, race, or socioeconomic status can make individuals feel like they don't belong in certain roles or industries. For example, women in male-dominated fields, like tech or finance, might feel like they have to work twice as hard to prove themselves and still doubt their abilities. Lack of representation. When you don't see people who look like you or share your background in positions of success, it can be harder to believe in your own potential. This is why representation matters. Seeing someone like you succeed can help you visualize your own success. What is the impact of imposter syndrome? Mental health. Imposter syndrome can take a toll on your mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, and burnout. When you constantly doubt yourself and feel like you're not good enough, it can be exhausting and demoralizing. Career growth. Imposter syndrome can hold you back from pursuing opportunities or advocating for yourself in the workplace. You might be less likely to apply for a promotion or ask for a raise because you don't feel like you deserve it, even if you're highly qualified. Relationships. Constantly doubting yourself can strain personal and professional relationships. You might have a hard time accepting compliments or praise from others, or you might push people away because you don't feel worthy of their support. Let's see some real-life examples. Maya Angelou, the renowned poet and author, once said, "I have written 11 books, but each time I think, uh-oh, they're gonna find out now. I've run a game on everybody, and they're gonna find me out." Despite her incredible success and impact on literature and culture, Angelou struggled with feelings of inadequacy throughout her life. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in history, expressed doubts about his abilities, writing, "The exaggerated esteem in which my life work is held makes me very ill at ease. I feel compelled to think of myself as an involuntary swindler." Even someone as brilliant as Einstein wasn't immune to imposter syndrome. Tina Fey, the comedian, writer, and actress, has spoken openly about her experiences with imposter syndrome. In her book Bossy Pants, she writes, "The beauty of the imposter syndrome is you vacillate between extreme egomania and a complete feeling of, I'm a fraud. Oh God, they're on to me. I'm a fraud." So you just try to ride the egomania when it comes and enjoy it, and then slide through the idea of fraud. How can you overcome imposter syndrome? Here's 5 tricks to help you out. Acknowledge your feelings. The first step in overcoming imposter syndrome is to recognize that it's a common experience and that you're not alone. When you acknowledge your feelings, you can start to separate them from reality and see them for what they are, just thoughts, not facts. Challenge your thoughts. When you catch yourself doubting your abilities, ask yourself if there's evidence to support those beliefs. Often, our negative thoughts are based on assumptions or fears rather than reality. Try to look at your accomplishments objectively and give yourself credit where it's due. Celebrate your successes. Keep a record of your accomplishments, big and small, to remind yourself of your capabilities. This could be a journal, a folder of positive feedback from others, or a list of your proudest moments. When you're feeling like an imposter, refer back to this record to remind yourself of your strengths and successes. Seek support. Talk to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your feelings. Sharing your experiences can help you gain perspective and feel validated. You might be surprised to learn that many of the people you admire have struggled with similar feelings. Online therapy is particularly suitable, as being at home in your own safe environment makes it easier to open up to the therapist. In the video description, you will find some useful tips on the most reliable online psychological therapy services. Embrace growth. Remember that everyone starts somewhere, and it's okay to make mistakes or have areas where you need to improve. Instead of seeing challenges as threats, try to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Embrace a growth mindset and focus on progress, not perfection. And now, the surprising way to overcome imposter syndrome. Recent research suggests that one of the most effective ways to combat imposter syndrome is through self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness, understanding, and forgiveness, rather than harsh self-criticism. When you practice self-compassion, you acknowledge that imperfection is part of the human experience and that everyone struggles sometimes. Individuals who practice self-compassion are more resilient in the face of failure and are less likely to experience anxiety and depression. They're also more likely to take on new challenges and persist in the face of setbacks. One study, published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, found that self-compassion was a stronger predictor of resilience and well-being than self-esteem. The researchers found that individuals with high self-compassion were more likely to bounce back from failures and setbacks, while those with high self-esteem were more likely to become defensive or self-critical. Another study, published in the journal Mindfulness, found that a brief self-compassion intervention could reduce feelings of imposter syndrome in college students. The students who participated in the intervention reported greater self-compassion, lower levels of self-doubt, and increased motivation to pursue their goals. To practice self-compassion, try the following. Treat yourself as you would a good friend. When you're struggling, ask yourself what you would say to a friend in the same situation. Would you criticize them harshly, or would you offer them kindness and understanding? Try to extend that same compassion to yourself. Use kind and understanding self-talk. Instead of berating yourself for mistakes, acknowledge that everyone makes them and focus on what you can learn from the experience. Use language that is supportive and encouraging rather than harsh or judgmental. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment and remind yourself that they are temporary and do not define you. When you notice self-critical thoughts arising, try to observe them with curiosity and kindness rather than getting caught up in them. Acknowledge your common humanity. Remember that everyone struggles with self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy at times. You are not alone in your experiences, and your worth is not dependent on your achievements or failures. Imposter syndrome is a common and challenging experience, but it doesn't have to hold you back. By acknowledging your feelings, challenging your thoughts, celebrating your successes, seeking support, and practicing self-compassion, you can learn to overcome feelings of inadequacy and embrace your true potential. Remember, even the most successful people have faced self-doubt. What matters is how you choose to respond to it. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding, you can build resilience and confidence in the face of challenges. So the next time you feel like an imposter, remember that you are not alone and that your feelings do not define you. With practice and patience, you can learn to silence your inner critic and embrace your strengths and accomplishments. You are capable, deserving, and worthy. Don't let imposter syndrome convince you otherwise. Here is another video about the feeling of inadequacy that you need to watch. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.